Doug MPA back with another video. So I've been looking into this term I've seen floating around the internet called single mothers by choice. Single mothers by choice are women who go into parenthood knowing that they are going to be the sole provider and caretaker of that child. Most single mothers by choice in the United States are between the ages of 35 and 46. And gee, I wonder why. It's because these women fumbled their 20s, getting degrees men don't care about, getting careers men don't care about. And not only that, a lot of them, when they have children, would be perfectly willing to step away from these careers to be able to raise their kids. So a lot of them are in their um, older age and their life is incomplete without children, so they choose to do it by themselves. I found this article. It says 5 things I wish I'd known before I became a single mom. We're going to get into this article where this woman talks about what she wished she would have known before she made this decision. But before I do, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. It's just you support me and what I'm doing over here. Let's get into this. It says, from extreme loneliness to the importance of finding your mom group, one single mother by choice explains the things she wished she'd known beforehand. Okay. It says, when I was pregnant, I wrote an essay about becoming a single mom by choice in which I detailed why I chose to use a sperm donor and have a baby by myself at the age of 35. That was nearly 2 years ago, and I get emails and Facebook messages from women who've managed to track me down. They ask me questions and share their thoughts or stories. I've met some amazing friends this way. On Instagram, there's a whole community of people using the theme hashtag single mom by choice, as well as women on the journey to single motherhood. Most of them have a pretty good idea what they're getting into, while others, yeah, not so much. Let me say something about that. Social media it just exacerbates a lot of things with women, especially this whole validation thing. You're going to make one of the most probably no the most important decision of your life as a woman, parenthood, and you're going to document it all over the internet. It's crazy to me. You can find YouTube channels right now of women, my single mom by choice journey, and they've been documenting since they woke up one day and just had this epiphany of doing it by themselves, all the way to trying to find a sperm donor and a sperm bank and looking over sperm donor profiles, all this craziness on the internet. And it just shows there's so much insecurity about this major of a decision that you have to get validation about it on the internet. And the worst part about it is you may have these groups and these hashtags and stuff, but they're not going to be there to help you take care of that child. They're not going to be there to, to change the child's diaper or help you pick them up from daycare. These groups, they're not going to do that. So I don't know why these women do this. It says, that's because parenthood is one of those things where you don't really have a clue what it's like until you're in the muck of it. It's true. Many times I'd go on Facebook to vent, and other moms' friends would be like, yeah, unfortunately, that sounds about right. I found that things like loneliness, bladder issues, and the tedium of it all, this stuff, it just wasn't talked about until someone, usually me, brought it up. Most of my friends are partnered as well. So that's another added layer of going into this somewhat blind. And thinking about it, there are a few things I wish I'd known before I became a single mom by choice. Although, to be honest, I'm not sure I would have listened ahead of time. Yeah, I'm glad she's honest because a lot of these women, they're going to do it anyway. And you can't talk them out of it. Here are some of the major ones. Number one, it's exhausting. It's so freaking exhausting. I used to hate when parents would say this to non-parents. As a grad student, I was exhausted all the time. Late nights, every night, constant stress, all-nighters. I knew exhaustion, and it's true I did. But this exhaustion is a kind of exhaustion that gets into your very bones. It's the exhaustion of weeks and months and even years of constantly interrupted sleep. I'm running on 19 months of not sleeping for more than 4 hours at a time, usually less. For the first year, my son would wake up 3 to 8 times a night. It was awful. I tried everything: Rockin' Place, Swaddles, Magic Merlin Sleep Suit, the 5 S's, Ferber method. Cried out. He now sleeps. No, he now wakes up 1 to 4 times a night. Sleep deprivation has affected my mood, my physical and mental health, and my entire life. There's a reason it's used as a form of torture, and then you have to parent on top of that, and in my case, work full time. As a single parent, there's no one else to take a waking up to take a turn waking up in the middle of the night. No one to take the next feeding, no one to be on a baby's watch while you nap. Ha, like a nap would ever happen. While baby sleeps, you're making a meal because there's no one there to make one for you or to clean or do laundry or. No one to brew the coffee in the morning while you change the baby. Number two, it is lonely. This is a feeling I found to be pretty pervasive among mothers, but no one talks about it. But for single moms, it's especially lonely because during the times like when your kid crawls or when they roll over, you miss it because you were in the bathroom. True story. So, on top of this, humans, we want to share experiences with people. And so, not having someone there, not only not having someone there to help you with a child, but, you know, um, to be able to share the experience of all the first, to taking your child to the park, your child's first word, not having someone to share that with. And that's kind of a thing which I might do a video about this whole I love the travel thing. I like to travel too. I don't travel alone by myself a lot because I want to share experiences with another person. And I think that traveling alone by yourself, especially as a woman, you have to numb certain parts of yourself and that need to want to share experiences to be able to do that. But that's a whole other different tangent. Says it's lonely in those early days when if your baby cries every time you put him down, you can't get a moment to yourself between constant feeds, diaper blowouts, and outfit changes. And before you know it, it's 1 p.m. You haven't brushed your teeth or taken a shower, and Lord knows how long, and you're about to cry from exhaustion and frustration because there is no one else. I do not feel pity for this woman, none at all, and none of these single mothers by choice. It's lonely when, God forbid, there's something wrong with your child or there's an issue that needs to be looked at, and suddenly you're faced with major decisions to make. It's lonely when you get sick and there's no one to take the baby so you can sleep or go to the doctor. So instead, you try to drag yourself and your spawn out the door, wrangle them to the walk in clinic with you, and then hope they behave when you're waiting at the pharmacy. This is all stuff that women don't consider. That biological need to have children overrides all of this stuff. And this is what men think about when a child is conceived. How are we going to do all this? It says self care matters. Admittedly, I'm bad at this one, and honestly, as a single mom, this likely looks a lot different than you might think. It can be hard to get someone to watch your kid, especially in the early days if you're nursing. So the well-meaning people who say, go get a massage or go get a manicure and see a movie don't understand that although that sounds amazing, the likelihood of that happening is very small because logistics. For me, self-care means I stay up a little later at night, even though I'm exhausted, to read because reading keeps me sane. For someone else, it might look like doing yoga every morning, or a regular Starbucks run, or making sure to take naps. So the little things we do to recharge our souls are what keep us going. It's not being selfish, it's self preservation. And I think that's true. You do have to give up a lot to be a parent. I wouldn't know because I don't have any kids, and that's one of the reasons why I'm not a parent. I don't want to give up anything the, that makes me me, or any other avenues that help keep me sane. I don't want to give it up. It's just I'm just not the one. It says four, you need to find your mom group really. And before we read this on my channel, I always talk about this. Women can't stand each other. They really can't. Okay, if a bunch of women hang around each other long enough, there's going to be conflict, cattiness. So I can only imagine how bad it would be with a bunch of women who have no one else to help them take care of their kids and are going through everything that she talked about with exhaustion. All getting together, that must be a fun group. It says, I scoffed at this, and even now there's a part of me that cringes when I hear someone put the word mom before anything as an adjective, but it's true. As a single mom, you need a support system. It's not enough to have your family, extended family, or some friends. You need a mom group, whether in real life or online. I have only a few mom friends that I actually meet up with, but I have found my mom group in virtual cloth diaper groups, the comic book world, and my writing groups. You need space to decompress from the sanctimommies. Come on, get out of here. Or vent about what a jerk your toddler is being. You need a space to confess what a bad mom you felt you were, only to be met with, hey, I've done that too. You need to find some other single moms, women who are there in the trenches with you without a partner. See, and you see how she framed this, that are there in the trenches with you with a partner. But these women chose that. That's the thing. You chose it. No child is born without a woman wanting it to be there the majority of the time in the West. They will know what it's like to work full time, come home and have to make dinner, clean, get the kid ready for bed, and do it all over and over and over with no help or companionship. 5, it's okay to not always love it. I wanted to be a mother more than anything, and that's why I pursued single motherhood by choice. That said, there are times when I wondered if I bit off more than I could chew. And yes, you did. That's what these women don't understand. And we have a current culture and society perpetuating all this foolishness. You're going to do it by yourself. No, you're not. You're not. And it's a lot. If I overestimated my ability to do this and do it well, it's overwhelming and I'm human. It's hard, so hard, and I expected it to be hard, but it's harder and more draining than I could have ever imagined. It's frustrating and exasperating and tedious. Oh, the tedium. Without someone to share it with, it all falls on me 24/7. Making the appointments, negotiation with insurance companies about my son's therapies, finding the right therapist, deciding on treatment plans, doctor's visits for both of us, taking care of the apartment, trying to maintain some semblance of work life balance, managing financial issues. There is never a respite. Never someone to help shoulder the burden. No one to give me the day off. While in the end, I don't doubt my ability to weather it in one piece, sometimes I wish I didn't have to. So there you have it. My warts and all looking at single parenting. Fellow single parents out there, uh, anything I'm missing. So once again, guys, I don't feel bad for any of these women. I just don't. Okay. We live in modern society. Women have the right to choose, and we have enough information out there that you should know that this is coming. No sympathy over here. Put in the comments what you think about this phenomenon. Like, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.